When Shoichi Kamada arrives at his class, he finds Hikari Tsuneki sitting on his desk and having a conversation with her friends. He politely asks her if he can sit down, to which she apologizes and explains that she didn't know it was his desk. However, one of her friends mentions that Hikari was aware of it and was just teasing him. Hikari admits that she likes to see Kamada get flustered because he looks adorable. Another friend reveals that Hikari is seeking revenge on Kamada for placing second in the Santa Beauty contest, as she lost to his sister. Hikari sticks her tongue out at him before leaving, and Kamada feels embarrassed as he looks at the place where she was sitting. One of Hikari's friends, Sanjo Ruse, gives him a stern look. Later at home, Kamada plays a board game with his sister, who mentions that she wanted to get second place in the contest because the prize was more to her liking. He thinks to himself that Hikari would be furious if she heard this. She tells him to do better on his midterms this year, and he mentions he is really focused on his career after graduation. At lunchtime, Hikari waves at Kamada and asks him to join them. She informs him that they learned from their teacher that he wishes to become a manga artist. He chats with the girls while all the other male students glare at him spitefully. Hikari asks him if he was staring at the desk where she was sitting, basking in his own depravity. She noticed he was embarrassed. The girls then tease him that if he drew cultured manga, he would get really popular. He goes to the library to study with his friend Ikuo, but Hikari soon arrives and asks Ikuo to help her study as well. She tells him that she's bad at literature just like Kemida, and if she fails, she won't be able to go on the family trip. During basketball practice, Sanjo catches a few guys staring at Hikari playing basketball, and she immediately dismisses them. Kemtida overhears a few guys talking about asking Hikari out on a date. Eko asks Kamada what he thinks about her. He tells her she is the center of attention everywhere. Ekuo mentions that his sister saw Hikari with an older man and believes she was dating him. Kamada spends the next 2 days studying for the midterms, and both he and Hikari manage to pass all subjects. Kyoko, his childhood friend, approaches him and wonders how he has gotten so popular with the ladies lately. Ekuo tells Kamada about a 2-week cram school in the mountains to study for finals and asks him to join. As he is heading home, he sees Hikari working at a pastry shop with an older gentleman and wonders if that is her boyfriend and gets jealous. He wants to get ahead in life and decides to go on the summer crash school course with Eiku and others. They arrive at the school and find students from all over Japan attending, and they decide to have fun while they study. The teacher tells all the students to head to the conference room for the briefing on the schedule. Kevita feels disheartened after the first day of classes because he did horrible compared to the other elite students. He goes to his room and wonders if he had stayed at home, he would have been able to get closer to Hikari, and he daydreams about her feeding him. He then remembers that he came here to be a changed man and opens his hotel window to yell. But he freaks out when he sees hands reaching out from the window and believes it's a ghost. But to his surprise, it was Hikari who climbed up the hotel wall. He is relieved she is not a ghost. She tells him that her parents found out she was working a part-time job and grounded her for the summer break in a hotel in the mountains. She escaped from the hotel only to be chased by deer in the rain, and she started climbing the wall to save herself. He starts to stare at her but gets flustered when he thinks he got caught. But Hikari was actually worried about getting his chair wet. He starts looking at her again, but this time he pretends to have back pain because he believes he has been discovered. She asks to wear his clothes since hers are wet. She compares their bodies and believes they are the same size. He is worried about his body odor on the clothes, but she smells it and says she doesn't mind, and he gets really embarrassed. As she leaves, other students see her walking out of his room. He goes to his room to sleep, but has a crazy dream about her smelling him. He goes to class, wondering if he will ever get used to the intensity at the summer course. At lunchtime, Hikari joins them while still wearing his clothes. They then talk about one of the stricter teachers at the school, and Hikari mentions she has to clean the restrooms as a result of running away. After spending time with her during lunch, Kamada thinks he actually might be able to make it the full 2 weeks of school. Hikari goes to math class with Meiko and then finishes her cleaning duties afterwards. The girls then laundry the clothes to give them back to Kamada. Meiko mentions that everyone has been spreading rumors about Hikari's relationship with Kamada and calling her all sorts of names for walking around in his clothes. Kamada overhears a few girls talking about the rumors and tries to explain the situation to them, but they don't believe him. Just then, Hikari arrives with Meiko, and instead of tamping down the rumors, she plays along to convince the girls that she is in a real relationship with him. Kamada wonders if she hit her head as he continues to try to clear up the confusion, but the girls leave gossiping. She later gives him back his clothes and apologizes for taking her jokes too far. He asks her if it is true that this is her first time doing laundry for anyone, and she replies yes. But she tells him she's a really good cook. Sensing he doesn't believe her, she tells him she will prove it to him. Since she doesn't have an apron, she takes back the clothes she returned to him and promises to return them after she is done cooking with them. Later that night, the 4 of them gather to eat the meal prepared by Hikari. Kamada is ecstatic because he gets to eat a meal made by Hikari. Everyone is mesmerized by her cooking. After hearing about her new skill, Kamina tells her he sees her in a new light, which embarrasses her. Mako mentions that Kamina has a girl to do his laundry and make him food. It's like he has a wife. Hikari then teases him if he wants to get married, but he almost chokes on the food from her saying that. As she is doing the dishes, she tells him she plans on leaving the school soon, but he convinces her to stay. During class, Hikari pokes Kamina, which causes the whole class to stare at them when he makes a scene. She then whispers in his ear, and all the boys look at him angrily. When the girls begin to gossip, she takes off her jacket, attracting the attention of every boy in class, while Kamina tries to cover her with a book. After class, Kamina tells her he will help to make her fit in class and suggests they should talk less so the other guys feel less jealous, so Hikari tells him she won't talk with him during class. She asks him why he joined the summer classes, but he is unable to answer. Then, for the next few days, she ignored him at lunch. At night, he hears a loud noise at his door. When he opens the door, Hikari is there pretending to be a pet cat. She tells him she is bored and wants to play with him. She felt hungry, so he offered her his leftover soup in an attempt to fluster her, but she turned the tables and drank it, causing him to be embarrassed, and he thinks he is going to have another crazy dream tonight. He goes back to studying while she hovers over him, causing him to get distracted. She continues to tease him, but he asks her to get serious about her studies. She tells him she's going to study in his room, and Kamina starts to have cultured thoughts. He tries his best to focus, but is unable to study. She then tells him she wishes she was at the beach, and he tells her she would look great. Hikari then asks if he wants to see how she would look. Then they go to the pool, and she makes fun of his dress and forces him to praise her. She then begins to feel dizzy, so he takes her outside to get some fresh air. While outside, Hikari sees a deer and gets scared. He asks her if the guy at her work is her boyfriend, but she gets mad and asks if he was the one who told the school about her part-time job. He tells her it wasn't him. She believes him and informs him that the guy who owns the restaurant already has a wife. The trip finally ends, but Kamina is sad because after that night, Hikari stopped talking with him. Later on, Hikari visits her former boss at the restaurant and asks for a favor. When the second term begins, Kamina sees Hikari on his way to school, but she ignores him because she believes he was the one who told people about her job. During class, Hikari is chatting with her friends when Kamina enters the room. However, she leaves before he can approach her. Kamina daydreams about Hikari cosplaying as a cat and calling him her boyfriend. Later, he finds a note on his chair from Hikari, who requests to meet him behind the school. When they meet, Hikari returns his clothes and tells him not to tell anyone they met during summer break. Kamina confronts her about her strange behavior since the pool incident, but Hikari lies and denies any rumors. Hikari becomes angry and takes back the clothes. They then encounter Akari and Yuki in the rabbit cage, where Yuki admits to mistakenly thinking that Hikari and Akari were in a romantic relationship. It is revealed that Yuki was the one who spread rumors about Hikari's job because she did not want her to attend the beach trip with Akari-senpai. Yuki knew that Hikari's parents would ground her if they found out she had a job. After Hikari forgives her, Yuki admits her mistake and apologizes to both Hikari and Kamina. Hikari assures them that she has no romantic interest in senpai, and they have her full support. Later, Hikari invites Kamina to the restaurant and prepares a meal for him. She confesses that she had known all along that it was Yuki who had snitched on her, but she still apologizes to Kamina for ever suspecting him. She explains that she was giving him the cold shoulder because she wanted to confirm her suspicion about Yuki and did not want to drag Kamina into the mess. She returns his clothes to him once again, and Kamina asks her to go to the beach with him since she had initially missed it. While playing catch at the beach, they accidentally drop the ball in the water. Kamina goes in to retrieve it, but ends up falling. Hikari rushes to help him, but she also trips, and they both get wet. They playfully tease each other, and Hikari pushes Kamina down, and they share a kiss underwater. Later, Kamina plans to propose to her, but Hikari reveals that her time at summer camp was her first experience being away from her parents. She learned to do her laundry and cook for someone for the first time, and after making an omelet that Kamina devoured, she decided to pursue cooking as a career. She asked her former boss to refer her to a place for cooking training, and her dream is to bring joy to people through her cooking. However, she tells Kamina that she does not want to date him for a year and then have to break up because she's going to Spain for her cooking apprenticeship. She only wants to remain friends with him. Kamina becomes emotional, but Hikari urges him to continue supporting her aspirations. He agrees to remain friends, and she thanks him by giving him a kiss on the cheek. Despite exchanging phone numbers, Hikari never contacts him, and Kamina becomes more focused on his studies and future. 5 years later, Kamina is working at the restaurant where Hikari used to work. The owner is pleased with Kamina's progress towards becoming a dietitian nutritionist and announces that he will be temporarily leaving the restaurant due to the impending birth of his child. He has hired a new chef to assist Kamita in running the restaurant, and to his surprise, it is Hikari. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.